to Power Up Memphis. I'm your host, Gail Jones-Carson, the Vice President of Community and External Affairs for Memphis Light, Gas, and Water. The aim of Power Up Memphis is to take you, our customers, on an inside tour of MLGW to share our programs and operations with our customers. And by doing so, we can all better understand how we function as your utility provider. My guest today is our President and CEO, J.T. Young, who's been here now 1 year.
Yeah, coming up on that 1 year anniversary.
So we've been pleased to have you for this first year.
Thank you.
Quite a bit of progress, particularly with our customers and a new mission and values, and customer service is improving. So tell us what this first year has meant to you.
Well, I've just been honored, Gail, actually, to be a part of this great team and in this community for the last year. My wife and I have really been embraced and have really been excited about all the great opportunities. And I think about when I first got here almost a year ago, everybody was, the excitement was building around the MLK 50 remembrance and commemoration. And so many activities were going on. I think the very first thing I remember from a public standpoint was my interaction at the Josie Warren House, where we did the dedication that day. That was, I think, during my first week. And then being a part of so many events commemorating Martin Luther King Jr. and his legacy. So those were very special times. So that sort of set my pace here, when I got here.
So did you know much about our history here in Memphis prior to coming here?
I knew, of course, about the MLK issue. I knew about the sanitation strike and why he came. But then I learned a lot, actually, to be honest with you, learned a lot with regards to the actual things going on behind the scenes with the sanitation workers. I didn't know exactly why there were so many issues, and so the details were very illuminating. So that was pretty exciting to learn.
So, I mean, one of the proud moments for Memphis Light, Gas, and Water was the rebuilding and refurbishing of the Josie Warren home and making it a part of our home at our North Service Center. So we've been very proud of that. And so tell me, since you've been here, what's the largest storm that you've worked now? Yeah,
so on the good news side, coming from Florida, we have had our share of storms. I think I've been through about a dozen or so hurricanes.
Hurricanes?
Yes, in my career. But I did remember, it stands out, around July timeframe, we had a major storm that impacted a lot of our customers, north of more than 25,000 or so customers. And so I remember that was the first time that I was here when we set up the Crisis Management Center. Had to call in outside crews to come in and assist us. So it was great to see how our team worked together in that situation to bring restoration to our customers. And I always talk about, when we have major outages like that, that when we restore power, we're really restoring hope. One of my former CEOs kind of helped me to see that. And I think that's important, because when people get power back, they feel like they have hope and they can move on with their lives. So, but that sticks out in my mind as a pretty impactful storm for our area.
So, okay, so you've been here about a year now, and that was a major storm since you've been here. How do our storms compare to the storms that you dealt with in your other cities, other companies? Yeah,
so in Florida, as you know, I was with Gulf Power for 29 years, and before that I spent about 5 years in the St. Petersburg, Tampa area with what's now Duke Energy Florida. And typically storms that we had of great magnitude, we were able to plan for those storms. They really, especially for a hurricane. Tornadoes, of course, we couldn't plan for, but when major storms came in, like named storms, we would typically have a few days to kind of gather our wits about us and to plan. What I noticed here is that storms can come up quite suddenly, and you don't really have a lot of time to get ready. And when they do come, because we have so many trees in this area, the outages can be long-term and pretty significant. So that's been the major difference that I've seen here. It's the unpredictability that I've seen, but just to have such a great team of folks at MLGW, from our line crews, all of our folks that are just sitting on the ready to help our customers was refreshing to see.
Well, and that unpredictability that you talk about, and I share with the media and the public a great deal, is it is very difficult for us to, like, you could plan for hurricanes, but because we don't really know, number one, actually we're going to get hit, because sometimes we get passed over, and then when we get hit, if we get hit, then we have to send our troubleshooters out to assess the damage and determine what the needs are for restoration, and then we send crews out. But we don't just have people just sitting around waiting for a storm to hit, because it may not hit.
Right.
But we always have, you know, staff on standby when we are alerted that a storm is coming. So
absolutely.
But with hurricanes, I guess, because hurricanes you get a few days notice that it's coming.
As a general rule, you do, and even then it's still hard because they're always unpredictable. But it's a little better notification ahead of time with those storms there.
So let's move on to, well, I kind of, since we're on storms and outages, you know, I know that we've been working, trying to, you know, get some additional funding for upgrading our infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
So could you explain, when we talk about upgrading our infrastructure, what does that mean? What is the infrastructure that needs to be upgraded, changed, or made better?
Yeah, so what I always want to try to help people understand is there's kind of two ways to think about equipment and how we deal with equipment. And much like your car, your home, or anything else, you can always replace things when they fail, when they break. You know, so if a water pump fails on a car, you can replace it when it fails. If a transmission fails, you can replace it. If an air conditioner fails, you can replace it. But what we were trying to do with our system, our goal has been, for the benefit of our customers, trying to make investments to improve the resilience of our infrastructure so that our customers would not experience the impacts of those failures. So the difference to me is you kind of get out ahead of the game if you can make wise investments, just like you would if you're doing maintenance on your car and the mechanic says your fuel pump's about to go. Well, you might want to, you can wait till it fails, or you can go ahead and replace the fuel pump ahead of time and get more miles out of that. So once your mechanic says your AC is about to go out in your house, you can go ahead and let it fail and then be hot, or you can go ahead and replace it. So we were trying to be wise about infrastructure with regards to our electric and our gas and our water system in terms of how to replace it strategically over a period of time, mitigate the impact of cost to our customers by spreading it out over a few years, and mixing that with, you know, not just rate increases, but what we call bond issues or debt issuances to lower the cost that we would have to charge our customers. So that was kind of the mix that we had, and we had a 5-year plan to do that. And as it sits right now, as it stands now, we're in the process of trying to, because we didn't get approval to do that, we're going to have to continue to maintain our system, which we will do, stay in compliance, fix things when they fail, and work at trying to come at it from another position next time to be successful with our objective of improving our service.
And some of our equipment is dated as back to the 30s and 40s. So we have 50, 60-year-old equipment that it's just worn out over time and needs to be replaced. Yeah,
I had a chance to visit in my time here. I've had a chance to be out in the field and be with some of our folks, and I've had a chance to go out to our water pumping stations and look at some of that equipment to what you're speaking of, and I've seen nameplates on pumps and motors back in the 30s, you know, and so we've got a lot of work to do to make sure that we keep those stations functional and productive, and we have some transformers and breakers in our substation that go back to the 40s and 50s, and so we want to do our best to replace those strategically as well. So, you know, my concern now is we've got to go through another storm season, and want to make sure that our customers have the least impact to whatever those adverse impacts might be from storms this year.
Well, I listened to you as we did the community outreach on educating our customers about the need for upgrading our equipment. And one of the things that you were very passionate about in upgrading our systems and for our customers was the customers who have the most challenges paying their bills. And you were also pointing out that they also may have a greater impact on their lives, negative impact on their lives when we have storms and they are out for several days.
Yeah, we always are concerned about customers who are financially challenged, and one of the things that I wanted to convey to everyone is that when customers who are financially challenged, and I've seen this throughout my career, when they have outages, they're impacted. They have a more difficulty recovering from outages than customers who aren't financially challenged, because it's much more difficult for them to replace food and just to get their lives back in order because they're already struggling financially. And so that's one of the reasons we were also very concerned, because sometimes they get, they're adversely impacted, and they deserve to have power, and they deserve to have a life that is meaningful for them. So we're always looking at all of our customers. We serve over about 1 million people total in the Shelby County area, and we're concerned about all of them and want to make sure that they all have the quality of life they deserve, and the things that we provide make that happen.
Yeah, so I think a lot of times people don't think about the impact of added outages on some of our customers over a period of time. There are customers who, when they lose food, if they are clients of the Department of Human Services, their food is replaced. Others who are working but having difficulty just making it from paycheck to paycheck, their food's not replaced. Many of them don't have other places to go. So even though they do have a challenging time with paying their bill, but they also have a challenging time with recovering from these outages.
Sure.
And one of the things that I talk about a great deal about Memphis Light, Gas, and Water is the number of payment plans and programs that we have to help our customers through their challenging times. And so could you talk to us about these kinds of programs at some of the places that you're familiar with or have worked at? More
than I've ever seen, MLGW has more programs and more services available to customers who are financially challenged than I have ever seen in my 36 years in the industry. And I think that's a testament to the sensitivity that historically MLGW has had for the needs of customers in our communities. And I think that the litany of programs that's still growing, that folks are always thinking about other things that can be added, but I think those programs matter for our customers. Many in the community help contribute to that, and we're grateful for that, and I know our customers are grateful. But it always makes a difference when we know that a customer who calls, who's struggling, that we can help them, we can refer them, we can do an extension, we can do arrangements, we can refer them to an agency that can assist them, whatever, and give them more time so that their lives can be as normal as possible, because we all know the value of the services we provide. We sometimes take it for granted, but for many of our customers, those are very vital services that they need to keep their lives in order. And so we're continually wanting to find ways to make it easier for those customers to be able to make ends meet when it comes to paying their bills.
Okay. Well, thank you, JT. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and finish talking with you about your year here at Memphis Light, Gas, and Water.
All right.
We'll be right back. Come back to Power Up Memphis. Thank you.
Share the Pennies needs your change to make a change. You can help ease the burden of a neighbor in need of home weatherization repairs. Your small change is all it takes to make a big difference. You may choose to opt out anytime, but for less than $12 a year, why would you?
I'm in.
I'm in.
We're in.
For more info, visit our website or call 544-6549. All you have to do is care.
Welcome back to Power Up Memphis. I'm Gail Jones-Carson, your host, and my guest who's returning back with us is JT Young, our president and CEO of Memphis Light, Gas, and Water.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So, JT, when Mayor Jim Strickland did a search for a new president and CEO, one of the things that was at the forefront of hiring someone was someone with who had really strong customer service experience. That was very important to the mayor. And when I checked out your experience, of course, you know, you're an engineer, you've done marketing, you've done, I mean, just a whole wide range of experience that you have in the utility industry. And so you have brought your customer service experience, which I say you have a whole wide range of experience, which was really very good. You know what you're doing when you step out there, when you talk, you know, you're well versed and experienced, but you brought a new level of customer service to Memphis Light, Gas, and Water. So that meant changing or moving our culture to another level. And so some of the things that you have done is you've worked on safety. It's been a major focus of yours, and creating a mission and a vision and value that focuses on employees and our customers. So can you talk to us some about that?
Yeah, I think it's important that the culture of any organization, and first of all, the culture is generally set by the leadership. And so what I've been doing is trying to make sure that we as leaders in the company are challenging ourselves to make sure that we can encourage our teams to be delivering with regards to the customer. And you spoke about mission, vision, and values, and we have a new mission at MLGW, and that mission is to safely deliver services that create and sustain superior customer experiences. And what I want all of us to know is that every day we come to work with that in mind. We're here to be safe, and then to deliver services that that create and sustain that superior level of customer experiences. All of our customers deserve the best we can provide, and our customers are experiencing things from other entities, so they're expecting certain things from us. And so when we worked through that process as a leadership team, we did so in an attempt to ensure that all of our, no matter who you are, one of the things that I tell everyone is that all of us are in customer service, all 2,800 of us, no matter what department you're in, we're in customer service. So we're here only because our customers are here. And so that's really important. And so we also created something called the MLGW Way, which is it's our values. It's what we believe in, that we believe will help us carry out and deliver that superior customer experience. And as you mentioned, it starts with safety, and then there's integrity, and then ownership, inclusion, and then compassionate service. And so when we talk about those elements of our those values that are a part of what we do every day, we want to make sure that all of our employees are well connected into that, and that's the reason we're here. We come here, we are passionate about our values and delivering value to our customers, and we want that to be real for everyone. And so we've asked our leaders to make sure that those values get included in our performance plans and our day-to-day activities, so that every employee understands the connectivity between their job and our values and carrying out our mission. So that's been a real important part of what we've been doing.
So, and how well received, how well is this going down to being immersed throughout the organization?
So, you know, it always takes time, and again, MLGW has been doing a great job before I even got here. We just want to make it better. I get good feedback from our leaders and from our employees just going around the company as I do. A lot of emails and notes and personal conversations with employees who are really grateful for that, because I think that's what we're about. Everybody that comes to work here wants to feel like they have a reason to be here other than just that job. This is designed to carry it beyond just the job you do to a much higher calling, and so we're all blessed to serve the great community, and I want to make sure we do that for the long term.
So Memphis Light, Gas, and Water, we are a major part of economic development in Memphis and Shelby County. When companies move to a new city, one of the things they want to know about is, you know, the cost of utilities and how to get services done, as well as the education and the crime and the housing. But we are a major piece of that. And that has also been a focus of yours since you've come to Memphis Light, Gas, and Water to take us to another level in the area of economic development. So could you give us...
Sure. It's important, and one of the things that I've done in the past is had exposure to economic development. Economic development is very broad, but in the business that we're in, we're critical to that. As you mentioned, companies that, whether they're trying to relocate here or grow and stay here, are going to heavily depend on the services we provide. And what I have seen in my career, and what I know to be true, is they want to be able to depend on a reliable system that provides those services so that they can be productive and hire more people and provide more services for their customers. So we have to be engaged in workforce development, community development, which are all aspects of economic development, in my opinion, as well as the basics of recruiting, helping to recruit and make sure we are engaged in that process with helping to sustain the ability for companies to be here. So we are always involved and excited about the opportunity we can bring to the table about being engaged with in the area of economic development to help improve this community in general, providing good paying jobs for our citizens, because we think that's very important.
Okay, so Memphis Light, Gas, and Water is about to be 80 years old on March 9th, which is a milestone for us.
Yeah.
So what kind of direction do you see Memphis Light, Gas, and Water going in for the next few years while you're here?
Well, I think it's important for, as I mentioned earlier, the utility industry is part and parcel to the entire area of value providers for customers. And I just believe that going forward, we're going to have to remember that we're more than just a utility, right? I try not to use that word very much because what we are is we are enablers, and we're enabling and delivering value to customers so that they can actually enjoy. I told folks, you know, sometimes we need to stop thinking about the fact that we provide kilowatt hours or water or gas. We provide comfort, we provide entertainment, we provide health, we provide education. So we're the enablers for those things to be done. So as we move forward, I guess I really want to make sure that our team and that all of our stakeholders in the community understand that we're here for a much higher calling than just to provide those commodities that we historically have provided, but that we have a much greater calling, which is why we have to be so involved in the community in other ways than just the basics of what we do. So I don't know. I think in my mind, I think the fact that customers now have so many things they can do with their smartphone is an example of how important it is for us to remember that those expectations and experiences carry over to us, and we got to figure out how we become just as relevant in that regard as many other providers have become for our customers. What is the game we play, role we play in that whole arena? And we've got to continue to remain relevant and get out ahead of those customer expectations and be there when the customer gets there rather than be pushed by the customer to get there. So those are the things that we're going to have to do, and I think we're going to get there.
So what message would you like to share with our customers?
Well, look, the biggest message I can share with our customers is that, number one, we are honored and privileged to provide you service. And really, it's only because of you that we're here. And what I always want our customers to understand is that we're not perfect. But every day we have a host of people who are trying to do their best to improve the quality of your life. And we're trying to get better every day. We appreciate your input. But most of all, we're just blessed and honored and privileged, really, to be in a position to be engaged with you every day in some way. We touch our customers every day in some way through what we provide. So we're grateful. We appreciate that opportunity. Thank you for being our customers and for allowing us the opportunity to serve them.
So, I mean, I know that that you're really passionate about the customer service, and that you recently just went on a whirlwind of community town hall meetings, talk shows, radio and TV, social media, live Facebook, and that was just really to inform customers about where we are
Right.
and the needs that we have. Do you plan to continue to stay in touch with our customers, to be a part of the community and they be a part of
We actually
Memphis?
do. We're the people's business. We are owned by the people, if you will, and we actually do have plans to continue to be engaged routinely. We're going to develop a cadence of engagement with our customers in that format. It may not always be physically, but there will be over time. It won't always just be me, but it'll be we've got folks that really need to get out and about and help. We need to hear from our customers. We need to share with what we learned last week is that when we convey information to our customers, they have a better understanding of where we're headed and are much more supportive. And so communication is so vital. Communication is everything, and everything communicates, is a quote from another CEO that I worked for. And I believe that's very, very important for us to do that.
Okay, so we only have a couple minutes left, and so I kind of really want to touch on our power and our energy supply. We are going through a major, major focus and change right now, and we are looking at an IRP, which MLGW will be assessing what our current energy needs are and what's maybe out there better, more reliable, cost-effective for our customers. Could you explain that process?
Yeah, real quickly, when you mentioned the IRP, that's an integrated resource plan, and we are in the process now of initiating that so that we can look and see what's the optimal mix of resources that should provide power or energy to to MLGW. And everyone needs to really understand how significant this is, right? It is, I believe in measuring 2 and 3 times and cutting once on this, because we have received very reliable service from our current provider, TVA, over the last several years. We have the lowest prices in the Valley and some of the lowest costs in the nation when it comes to electric service. But we always want to make sure that customers are getting the best deal. And so this process that we're going through is designed to ensure that. And so we're going to be taking a very deep dive look at how should we actually get energy. Is it best to continue the way we're doing it as a full requirements customer TVA, or should we look at other sources, other entities? Would that provide more value to our customers at lower cost and more value? So we're going to look at that. We're very serious about it. We're going to make sure that we take our time. There will be some episodes of this that will be public, where we'll have public input. We've already received 4 studies that all indicate different things. So that's going to be, it's going to be important for us to go through that process.
So, I mean, all these different studies out here, we're going to do our own assessment.
Absolutely.
To make sure that what we find is going to be the best price and the most reliable service for our customers.
Absolutely.
And this is a serious effort on MLGW's part.
Yes.
And I think it's going to take about 12 months.
Well, we're going to try to do it in less than 12 months. But the quick point to make, the very fact that we have multiple studies that have multiple scenarios should tell all of us that we really need to look at this carefully, because there are a number of different ways to do this, and we want to make sure we do it the right way and the best way.
For our customers always.
For our customers, absolutely.
Well, JT, thank you so very much for coming on and sharing with our customers. We thank you for your first year. We thank you for your family who's here with you and providing support to you. And you've been a great president so far. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you for watching Power Up Memphis. See you next month.
At MLGW, we're working hard to make your life simpler. With our new prepay option, you have the flexibility to choose when you pay your bill. Pay a little each week or once a month. You're in control. And with Prepay's simple-to-use interface, you can initiate payments, set balance alerts, and track your balance and usage in real time. Plus, with Prepay, there are no late fees, deposits, or reconnection fees. Avoid any end-of-month surprises with MLGW's Prepay system. Come into a location and sign up today.
Helping those with less than you can make you happy too. Plus one makes me happy to help someone. Plus one doing what can be done to help. Plus one helping your neighbor can be found.
Call 544-6549 or visit mlgw.com/+1.
Help someone.